What is the value of Defichain? Welcome to another Defichain video. My name is Kügi, and as always, I try to provide you with data and insights so that you can make smart decisions for yourself. Today, I want to talk about the value that I see in Defichain because we have a great project. I think there is a lot of value in there. I know right now prices are going down or not going up. Everything else is going up. Everything else is pumping. And that doesn't feel good. I understand that. Many people are like, there is no value in Defichain. That's all going to zero. It's all bad, all a scam, whatever. I don't care because I see the value. And today, let's talk about the value. Not about the price, but about the value, the thing that we have here in the project, which also means, in my opinion, the potential for future developments also regarding price, but no price predictions, no anything. Just let's talk about the value. And when we talk about the value of the project, yes, I asked the question on Twitter, and one answer was the friendship. And I agree. One value of Defichain is the community, the strong community we still have a lot of people in the community working together, and a lot of great relationships and friendships also. But I don't want to talk about the soft side of the value, but really the technical part, what the chain, the technology that we have here provides as value for users, for people, what we have there. So with that, let's go in, and I'm gonna build it up a bit in terms of from the base layer, what we have, and it's also a bit chronological how the whole thing evolved. So let's start. As you see, it's the whole thing, what is Defichain, is pretty big, and let's start at the base. When the whole thing started, I wasn't part of that, but I know what happened back then. When the whole thing started as a fork of Bitcoin, not a fork from the chain, but a fork from the repository, from the code. So it's based on the Bitcoin code and uses the UTXO model from Bitcoin. The only thing that changed is that Bitcoin is proof of work and Defichain is proof of stake. So we have the staking right from the start. We had the staking where you can earn rewards for staking and providing and making a masternode, basically. But the good thing is you have the UTXO model, which is basically Bitcoin technology and proven by Bitcoin, the thing that all crypto started from, Bitcoin, UTXO model. That's our base layer. And you can still have DeFi there, you can still use that. It's just there, you can put it there, you can add stuff to staking and use the UTXO model. So we have this fundamental technology on the chain. Then we build on top of that the native DeFi layer, the DVM as we call it nowadays, the DeFi chain virtual machine. And this added to this UTXO model a lot of DeFi functionality, but with the big difference to EVMs, where you had DeFi at that time and still have, on EVMs where they are fully Turing complete and everything is possible, but nothing is known to the chain. The chain, in a normal EVM, the chain knows nothing about any DeFi, any protocol, anything. It's just a framework that allows everything. On native DeFi, on Defichain, we have it turned around, where we say not everything's possible, just certain things are possible, but they are known to the chain. So it's part of the chain, part of the consensus, what's happening there. We have the DEX, we have the vaults, we have our tokens, the asset tokens, the web Bitcoin, Ethereum, data, everything, and the D tokens and everything. And the chain knows about that. The chain knows what's a token, what's a DEX, what's a pool, how is a pool swap working, what's a vault and stuff like that. And since the chain knows that and it's part of the consensus, it can't be easily changed. That's a plus and a minus, because can't be easily changed means you need a hard fork to change it, you need consensus update and everything, you need a refib and everything. But on the other hand, there is no chance of a rug pull or something that some project says, I have a great DEX and suddenly it's gone on the next day because they updated the protocol, because they are just, yeah, funny, or scams or anything. As long as Defichain DEX, the Defichain chain is ticking, as long as you can blocks in, you have the DEX and you can swap on the DEX without any restrictions, anything. Just the native DEX. Same with the vaults, same with the tokens. There's also the non-doing complete part. You can't do everything, which also means you can't make big errors, say it this way, or get scammed, because in the complex world of EVM, if you click on the wrong side, on the wrong button, you might confirm a transaction in your MetaMask that drains all your funds from your account. The risk is there, because everything is possible. So they can make a transaction that takes everything from your account, and you sign that, gone. This is there, the risk is there that you do stuff like that accidentally. On our side, in the native DeFi world on DVM, in the Light Wallet, that's not, that risk is not there, because yes, you swap, you click on the button, you might put in the wrong number for the swap, you might select the wrong token, but that's a user error that's always possible. But there is, if you click on swap, there is no way that by clicking on swap, you in reality confirm send tokens to another address. You can't get scammed on the native DeFi because it's part of the chain. It's not a project that can scam you, right? So this is the benefits of the non-doing completeness. And I think that's one of the reasons why we had such huge inflows when we launched the D-token system, why we raised so much TVL there, because people were like, I can use DeFi now without the risks of an EVM, without the complexity of an EVM. Just swap, create a vault, swap to the tokens from Bitcoin to D tokens, whatever. I can do that without any risk of making major errors or anything, or the funds being gone or scammed or hacked or whatever. And that's a huge benefit in my opinion. And because people sometimes have this, DEX, and DEX is not working because we have the D token, and D token is broken, and because of the DUSD debug. I get that DUSD not perfect right now, say it this way. It's in discount, but maybe also let's have a quick look on what we actually have on the DEX there and what our DEX is about. Because yes, right now we have this debug, we have the DUSD problem needs to be solved. But when I talk about the value, when I look at the value, I look at what can I do with it right now, and where is it going? What's the plan behind it? What's the structure behind it? What's the functionality that is planned, is there and just needs to be activated kind of as soon as we have the debug gone, right? As soon as DUSD is stable, this functionality is fully available again. So what is this functionality? On the one hand, on the DEX, we have our crypto pools. And we have in the center of everything is the DFI, which creates a lot of use case for DFI itself, because for liquidity mining and everything, you need DFI to put it in there. And we have the pools with all the crypto tokens that we have on our DEX. Web tokens for Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Litecoin, a lot of them. And also the stablecoin pools, the stablecoins with the USDC, USDT, Swiss stuff, and USC. And all of them can be traded through DFI. So you can move from Bitcoin to Bitcoin Cash, from Bitcoin to USD, to Solana, whatever, back and forth, what you want, small quantities, like you have on every crypto DEX, or not every crypto, but like you have on crypto exchanges, right? So that's good. Maybe not that special, but it's decentralized. No one can stop you. Already a benefit. Value that is there, value that is used, but we come to that. On the other hand, we also have our decentralized assets, where you have a huge portfolio of D tokens, stocks, ETFs, indexes, gold, bonds, single assets, and so on. And via the USD, you can trade all of them. Thanks to the future swap, those pools are plus minus 5% on the Oracle. That works, everything's fine. Yes, this part, the gateways, not perfect right now because of the debug, but as soon as this is figured out, as soon as this is solved, we will have a portfolio on the DEX and a system where you can easily, without anyone asking questions, anyone being able to stop you, anyone telling you a minimum amount of order size or a minimum of fees of $10 per order, per transaction, whatever. No one is stopping you. No one is telling you anything. And you can just swap Bitcoin to SPY. 3 swaps, so in total 0.6% commission. That's it. If you want to buy 0.001 SPY, you can do that. You can buy a fraction of a Tesla, whatever, Tesla stock, not a car, Tesla stock and stuff like that, right? So we have all that, and you can create a decentralized portfolio with stocks, with indices, with SPY, with DLT, gold, and add Bitcoin, Ethereum to that, add a few stablecoins to that mix. Take those coins and put it into liquidity mining. And that's now one of the additional things that's, in my opinion, this great value. There was always this slogan for Bitcoin, be your own bank. You have money, you don't want to give that money to the bank so that they keep track of it and you can send it via your bank account. You want to put it in your own wallet, self-custody, and send it to someone and be in full control, be your own bank, right? With Defichain, with our DEX, it's not only be your own bank, but it's be your own broker, basically. Because if you want to buy SPY, usually what you need to do is send your money to a broker, tell them, please buy SPY for me. They say, okay, I charge you $10 per transaction, per order. You pay for the keeping the stuff there, and somewhere a liquidity provider, so basically a market maker, gets his share from the spread or something like that. With Defichain, none of that. You sit there, you have your wallet, and you swap. And if you want to be your own broker, you not only swap, but you take funds, put it into liquidity mining, and suddenly you are the market maker. You earn the commission from people that swap. So you are the broker. You are the owner of your own brokerage, basically. And you can diversify whatever you want. So not only crypto, but also classical, traditional finance, D-tokens stuff. Huge portfolio possibilities, in my opinion. A lot of value. I'm using it, but as I said, it's just, I want to tell you what I think about that. Everyone has their own opinions. So that's, in my opinion, important to understand about the DEX, about the possibilities we have there, about the stuff that's possible on the DEX, on our DEX, already possible, right? And now let's go back to the overview. So talked about the DEX, talked about the vaults, because DEX, yes, it was there before, the crypto DEX, and then the white side, in my opinion, the main benefit or value of the native DVM side is the DEX. And that stuff, the vaults, the oracles, the future swap, is the addition that's needed to allow D-token trading on the DEX. But that's what we want, D-token trading on the DEX. And we just need the vaults, the oracles, the future swap to stay in the oracle price and stuff like that, to enable basically this big use case on the DEX. Now, we have the UTXO model. If you want to stay on the Bitcoin technology level, stay down there. If you want to go to safe, secure, native DeFi, up it one level, go to the move your coins up to the native DeFi side. Now, last November, if I remember correctly, we added another functionality there. We have had another major feature upgrade, which is the activation or rollout of our own EVM. The whole thing that I talked before about what's possible on other EVMs and that you can do everything wasn't possible on Defichain before. Now it is. Now we have a full Turing complete EVM, standard EVM. Every smart contract that you run on any other EVM can run on MetaChain, on our EVM layer, within our normal chain. Chain, same blocks, same safe UTXO level transaction model there, same consensus under the hood, within the same chain, an EVM. So now we suddenly have all those functionalities, all these possibilities for dApps, for NFTs, like the Atlantis, where we have already an NFT marketplace. We have a liquidity fork there already with the MUSD, Metaland. We have the vanilla swap, which is a Uniswap fork with Uniswap V2 and V3. So a DEX on the EVM side, where everyone can create a pair, a pool pair. Down here, only the defined pools that the core developers basically approved, or the DFIPs approved, are there. Here, everyone can create a pool, add liquidity, and we have heaps of pools there. We have the Octo DeFi, we have platforms, we have the Sphere that allows DeFi protocols, and also, and that's a nice thing in my opinion, that already shows a bit the difference between a normal EVM and what we have here, is what Sphere is doing right now, that we say, okay, we have functionality down here. We have possibilities down here where you can profit from. Right now, the looped vaults for the DUSD, or also the liquidity that we have on a native DEX. Because one thing, before I go deeper into the Sphere, we have our DATs, our asset tokens, and up here you have the ERC20 tokens, standard ERC20 tokens, right? And we have also the possibility to say you can transfer asset tokens up on the EVM layer. So you take your asset tokens, your DBTC, your DTesla, your DUSD, whatever, and transfer it up and use it up here as a normal ERC20 token. And if you're done, move it back down. Same as you can move DFI between the layers, you can also move that. And now the thing is, with that in mind, something like Sphere, where you can say, I want on EVM, someone who is not used to the Light Wallet, doesn't want to use a Light Wallet, is complicated, whatever. They only want to use MetaMask. They want to swap or buy some SPY, DSPY, DTesla, whatever. On vanilla swap up here, we don't have the liquidity yet. We have a lot of liquidity down on the native DEX. Not that much liquidity up here. So if someone up here doesn't want to take the native root, but wants to buy that, Sphere provides the functionality to say, interact with the smart contract, everything's fine, we take care of this, move it down, swap it, move it back up. So up here, Sphere provides this functionality and elevates it up to the EVM. And that as a service to the user. Takes a small fee, user has a benefit, additional value, win-win for everyone. Same with the loop vaults, where they say, okay, give me your DUSD and we do the looping down here and you just get the rewards. Perfect thing, right? All those possibilities where now the projects from the community, from the ecosystem, can add value to the space, can add value to the chain. Every stuff here, and just to be clear here, I just added a lot of things that came to my mind at the first glance, right? Sorry for everyone that I missed. I'm pretty sure I missed projects here, and there will be heaps of projects coming up. But just to give an example or give an overview of what's possible here and what we will see here on projects coming to the space, coming to the ecosystem, and increasing the value and the usability, the use cases up here on the EVM with new tokens and everything. And now is the main point, that's the difference in my opinion, and the added value of Defichain. Because you can say, what's the point? EVMs are there. We have other EVM chains with more projects already, with more liquidity and everything. Why Defichain? And now the thing is, as I said, on an EVM, you have risks. You have additional risks with the Turing completeness. It's not perfect, and I understand everyone who says, I don't want to put my whole portfolio onto an EVM chain or into the EVM address. I want it in a cold storage. I don't want it accessible. I don't want the risk of having it connected and everything, right? I want it in my Bitcoin cold storage, for example. Now, if you say you want stuff on your UTXO layer, you want stuff on UTXO level because you trust the UTXO level, but you also want to work with a small part of the portfolio on an EVM. What would you do with your Bitcoin on a cold wallet? You need to take the Bitcoin, send it somewhere so that they wrap it, so that you can put it on from the UTXO layer, put it onto the EVM, and then go through the central exchange or central service that allows you to bridge it there, then use it there, work with it, play with it, and if you want to go back, you have to again go through the central service. They might ask questions. Is this your wallet? Where did you get the funds from? We need to see some documents because otherwise you are not allowed because you are whatever. And you have all this trouble until you get it back down. Not really what crypto is about, not really the centralization that we want, not really the uncensorability that we want, right? It's what it is right now. On Defichain, that's not the case. On Defichain, you say, okay, I want stuff on my non-Turing complete layer where I don't risk anything, where I don't have the risk of clicking the wrong button and it's gone or something. I just have it down there, safe and sound, either on the UTXO layer or even here with the web tokens that I have the cryptos here on a safe layer. And then I take small part of my portfolio and just move it up to the EVM. I don't need to ask anyone. I don't need a central service to move that up. I just move that up because it's one transaction to send it up. And if I do the transaction, I now have that part of my portfolio up here, can play with it, do stuff, and then whenever I'm ready, I move it back down, have it on my native DEX, liquidity mining, or just there in my portfolio, have the decentralized stock portfolio, whatever, down here, and no worries about the EVM world. But I can use it without any central exchange, central bridge, whatever in between. All the worlds from UTXO to native non-Turing complete DeFi to the full EVM, all on one chain, all in your pocket, all in self-custody. Nothing else needed. And that's, in my opinion, a huge benefit to have all that on one chain, all that usability from your pocket. And that's what I see there. And that's why I think Defichain is a great project, a great chain with technology-wise huge potential that we already have, or where we already have functionality that is great. There is still potential regarding WASM and everything to have a layer 0 to connect to other chains and everything, which is also great for the future. But even what we already have on functionality is amazing. Sorry, I'm repeating myself, I know, but that's what I see as value. And now the thing is, we have all that, but is it used, right? Because I see a lot of people out there having like, no one is using it and it's bad and whatever. So I looked a bit at the numbers and I know compared to an Ethereum, we are small. No, really. We are small, we are a small chain, we are a small project, not much market cap and everything. But looking at it, it's still not that bad. So let's have a bit of a look on how this thing is actually used. In total, Defichain, the whole chain, currently has around 20,000 transactions per day. And I'm not talking about how low our fees are compared to Ethereum and everything. You guys all know that, right? Or you can look it up if you just think about it, how cheap DeFi is right now, how expensive Ethereum is, and compare the fees, right? But we have 20,000 transactions per day in the whole system. 3,500 in the EVM, and the majority 16.5 in native DeFi and UTXOs. And if you look at the DEX right now, just looked at the crypto part. So if you remember that, so I'm basically just looking at right now what happened here inside and what happened here. I'm ignoring the gateway pools because they are on the one hand low volume right now. I think there's not really much happening because of the fee, but it's also easier to look just this part and this part because here everything goes through DFI. So you can accumulate it in DFI volume because everything is going through DFI, and so every swap has a DFI part in it. Even if it's composite, you have swaps going through, and here everything has a DUSD part. So I just looked at those two worlds to have also a bit of a comparison what what's happening in what world. And if you look at that in the last week, because I think it's better to have an average over the week. In the last week, on our crypto DEX, 70 million DFI were moved through the DEX with swaps. So if there is a composite swap from Bitcoin to DFI to USDT, so if someone swaps Bitcoin to USDT, it's a composite swap and counts double here because you swap first Bitcoin to DFI and then DFI to USDT. Sounds a bit like, oh, it's double counted, but on the other hand, each of those swaps pay commission. So you have 0.2% on those 70 million DFI is the commission that's paid to our liquidity provider on the DEX. And there we have double-digit APRs from pure commission. We have most of our crypto pools are pure commission real yield, no inflation rewards there. So that's where these APRs are coming from, because we have 70 million DFI per week coming from 650 addresses active in the last week, doing 40,000 swaps within this week, which is not bad for a chain with this market cap and this TVL right now, where I say, for this, there is a lot of users. And even the DeFi system, where everyone is screaming it's dead and this can't be used and it's broken and whatever, we have 9 million DUSD going through the pools within the last week from 405 addresses and 7,000 swaps. Yes, again, not huge in absolute numbers, but compared to how big the chain right now is, our market cap and everything, that's a lot, right? And that's something to keep in mind about the is it used. And that's for me also the thing why I'm not worried by the DFI price. Say it this way. I mean, I don't like a low DFI price. I have a big position in number of coins because the value went down or the price went down. I have a big position in DeFi. I have a big position in the DTOKEN system, in DUSD, in the decentralized stocks, a diversified portfolio in there, right? So I would prefer everything goes to the moon, but I'm not worried about that, or I don't care that much about that because I use it. I'm not planning to sell DFI or DUSD anytime soon because I use my funds on the DEX to trade. I use my funds on my DTOKENs to have the portfolio, do liquidity mining, get cash flow on that, right? Also to trade and do trades with that. So I use that. I use Defichain. I'm not just putting my money there and wait for the number to go up. Everyone in the crypto space wants number to go up, but I want to use it. And that's where I see the value. And that's why I see this whole portfolio and huge amount of different use cases as a great value, because that's what you use the chain for. And look, talking about value and everything, in the vaults, we currently have a total value of $29 million worth of crypto. I'm not including the DUSD here, just the crypto parts that we have. $29 million worth of crypto in our vaults as collateral right now. On top of that, in the vaults, we have 54 million DUSD, and that's the net amount. So I already removed the loans, the looped vaults from the DUSD loops. So that's the net amount of DUSD in the collateral. So that's also not nothing. It's a lot. And looking at the EVM, it's not the same amount, right? We have vanilla where we have $375,000 traded per week. That's the volume again. It's different to the DeFi and the native DEX, but already a lot considering it's only a few months old, the whole chain, right? Or the whole EVM part of the chain. Also Metaland, which is also like a lending protocol, where we have vaults. It's called Troves there and everything, and they have already $280,000 DVL in their collateral. And JustFear, providing the services and moving stuff down, has 28 million DUSD in TVL up there. So that's big numbers, great numbers in my opinion, showing that people use the chain use our functionalities, our possibilities, our stuff actively, which also shows that there is value. It's not only me who sees the value, but a lot of people see the value. I understand everyone who says value is if the prices goes up is currently not really happy with the chain. I get that. Sorry for that. Yeah, but that's the way it is right now. I'm looking forward to when the price follows the value. But I hope this showed a bit where I see the value and why I see value in Defichain and why I'm staying, why I'm here to build on that, to work on that, to use that, and why I'm looking forward to a great future with Defichain once all the FUD around it is resolved and we can focus on our use cases again. So with that, I hope that gave you value. If there are questions or if you see something completely different, leave a comment. If you liked it, leave a like. And with that, see you in the next video.